Hello and welcome to this crocheted crop top video tutorial. I have 3 colors of yarn here. I have coral, yellow, and white. And the brand that I am using is Bernat Baby Sport. It is a size 3, and the hook I will be using is a size G. Now this hook I bought at Hobby Lobby. It is part of their luxury crochet series, and I really like this hook. The ergonomic hold area is wonderful and the size is great. But I will let you know this is an all plastic hook. We will also be needing a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. Today is a perfect day for crochet. In my area, we've been having a lot of thunderstorms. So if you do hear rumbling and thunderstorms in the background, that's what's going on. So to begin, we're going to start with a magic circle. And I like to make my first chain 1 tight against that magic circle. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1. Can you hear the rain? It's kind of soothing. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to place 10 half double crochets into our circle. To make a half double crochet, place your finger on that top loop, yarn over, go into the loop, draw up a loop, and then just go through all 3. There's 1, 2, 3. Continue until you have 10 half double crochets. At the end of 10, we're going to place your finger and forefinger and your thumb on top of the last few stitches and pull. You don't have to pull the circle tight, just go ahead and pull it closed. Now to close this, we're going to place a slip stitch, not in the chain 1, but in the chain that goes to the right hand side of our half double crochet. Now do not pick up the loop, we're going to change colors. So go ahead and tighten up your strings here, and then my second color will be white. So you can leave a little tail and then go ahead and pull it through the 3 loops. Okay, and let the little tail drop, chain 1. Now where we just stopped, we're going to pick up that first loop from that last half double crochet, and we're going to go through the 2 loops on the first half double crochet, and then we're going to take our tail and bring it over the top of our hook and yarn over and come through all of those loops that were the yellow ones, and we're going to make a single crochet. Okay, and then we can tighten up some of these loops here, but not too tight. Okay, so here's what we have. Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one right here is our first one. I'll get a little closer for you. We don't want to go into that one. We're going to skip the next one. Skip that one and then the next one after that we're going to place a single crochet. Snug it up. Okay, so you can see where our first stitch got our first single crochet, because that's where everything was pulled over. Okay, so we skipped one, and in the next one we place a single crochet. Now chain 7 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one we're in, we're going to skip the next one and single crochet in the next one after that. Okay, and then snug up that single crochet just a little bit, and then chain 7 again. Do this 3 more times, and I'll meet you back here where we're gonna slip stitch, and I'll show you how to finish that. So this is what we have so far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 completed loops and our last chain 7. So let's slip stitch into the single crochet, and chain 2. 1, 2. Now take and just make a slip stitch over the chain, okay? This extra chain right here will blend in with the row, so don't worry about that. Okay, so we have like our little star already, but we're going to turn it into a pinwheel. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now onto what's left of our chain 7, we're going to place 8 double crochets. Now to make a double crochet, place your finger on that top loop, yarn over, insert your hook through your chain space, bring up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Let's make 7 more. Okay, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, and when you're done, go ahead and spread it out on that chain just a little bit so that it's evenly spaced. And then we're going to just slip stitch around the chain, and we're going to do this again. Chain 3, and what's left of the chain 7, 8 double crochets. Okay, so and when you get to the last, the 8th double crochet, you're going to slip stitch around the chain. So let's see how many double crochets I got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, spread it out just a little, and then slip stitch around the chain. Okay, do that for the next 3, and I'll meet you here, and we will change colors for our next row. So this is our look so far. Of course, you're wondering what to do with all these. We will weave them in just a few minutes. Okay, so here we have our little pentagon star. So remember this little chain 2 we did here, and then the slip stitch? let's go ahead and slip stitch into the slip stitch. And then along this chain right here, I want you to make your slip stitch loop a little bit longer so we can go into the first one. See how it's just kind of stretched it up a little? And then take your hook and go into that last chain at the top. Now do not bring your white through. We're going to pick up our coral color here. Okay. So have a short amount and then bring it through all those loops. Now take your white and snug that one up, and then we're going to, with our coral, we're going to chain 3. But when we do our first stitch, take the tails of the white and the coral into that first stitch. We're going to carry the tails a couple of stitches, and that'll help lock that in. So here we got the chain. Now in this double crochet, the very first one is going to be a little tricky to get into, but you can do it. And then take your tails and bring it over the top of your hook. Take your yarn, draw up the loop, snug it up just a little bit, and then finish your double crochet. Okay, we can go ahead and let those 2 yarns drop. So we have 1 double crochet. We're going to be double crocheting in the next next 5 stitches. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm hoping that in this video, even though I have a coral color hook, you can still see what I'm doing. So to me, with my light, it's not conflicting. So I'm hoping that in the camera view it won't be conflicting for you. So we want to go up our chain 3 to the top of the chain 3, and I want you to place your finger on that top loop and draw a yarn over, and in that 3rd chain we're going to pick up and make our double crochet. This will be our repeat row. Our first one, the chain 3, was just to get us up, but this will be the beginning of our repeat row. So we will be making 6 double crochets across. So there's 1. Now we don't want to miss our first one here, so here's 2. Here's number 3. 4, 5, and 6. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then over here on the top of your chain 3, we're going to place another double crochet, and after that you'll add 5 more. So go ahead and complete that around until you get back over here. After you chain 5, stop, and I'll show you what to do next. So does yours look like mine? I bet it does, doesn't it? So now before we attach this, I want you to go ahead and put your hook into the top of that chain 3. Now we're going to change colors again. I think the various colors that are used is what helps define the pinwheel look. Okay, so we pulled up our loop. Let's chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Now, like we did before, pick up the tail and of the yellow and the coral that you just used. Okay, and we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, and then put the tails and stuff on top of the hook, and then draw up a loop and snug it up just a little bit, and then complete your double crochet. Now you can go ahead and drop those 2. Okay, so we're going to double crochet in the rest of the stitches here. So we have 4 more on this row. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now in this chain 5 that we have here, we're going to do 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets. So we're going to do a total of 8 double crochets right here in this chain 5 space. 2, 3, and 4, chain 2, and then continuing on, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so now we're going to keep on going. Here we have 6 double crochets, so we're going to place 1 in each space. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you see how I'm holding my hook? It is so comfortable in my hands. Alright, so in this chain 5 space, we're going to do the same as what we did right here. 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets. So continue all the way around, and this is our last row of this block. So continue around and I'll show you how to finish it off. So to finish this block, what I like to do is, instead of going to the top of the chain 3, I'm going to go into the first double crochet and I'm going to do a slip stitch. Okay, that'll make it so that it'll close and snug up a little bit better. Okay, so let's cut our yarn. And then just bring it through and we're going to finish it off. So let's get ready to sew in our ends so we'll have a nice finished looking block. So let's go start with the center. And remember our magic circle here, we can go ahead and tighten that up just a little if you want. It's not important. So I'm going to take both colors of the yellow, and when I thread my needle, I bring it up from behind there and take the folded part and go through the needle. Makes it so much easier than possibly splitting the ends of the yarn, which is no fun to have to deal with. Now go through the center of those, at the bottom of those stitches. This will help reinforce the magic circle as well. I used to try a double magic circle, but I found that sometimes it would get twisted, and then all the stitches that I put in I had to take out. So Okay, we went around again. Let's go ahead and cut that. Now for some of these other colors, you always want to try and stay with the same color that your yarn is. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go through here. See, I'm going to go through a few of the stitches right there in the center. And then I'm going to go back. So go over the first loop right here and then go back. And that helps locking it in. Now since my tail wasn't long like I normally have it, I can only go back once. I usually go back twice or 3 times depending on my project. So for the coral, you can even go inside here. I'll probably take the 2 of them, and then the white, you want to bring the white back down here and go where your double crochets are at. So let's go ahead and finish that up, and I'll give you some additional remarks. Okay, so here's what we got. We've completed our Pinwheel Pentagon block. So now we're going to start adding onto our sides right here. The color that I have chosen to use will be coral. So go ahead and get your coral color ready, and I'll see you in a second. I guess you can see my amount of yarn here. I had a huge yarn barf. Sometimes when they wrap these fine yarns into a 1-pound bundle, the center just doesn't come out the way it's supposed to. So let's start with a slip knot on our hook, and in our chain 2 space we're going to make and start off with a standing double crochet. So to do that, place your finger on that loop, wrap the yarn around, go through the chain 2 space and bring up a loop. Keep your finger close by there, and then yarn over, go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. You have just completed a standing double crochet. Okay, and in this space we're going to make 1 more double crochet. So let's go across till we get to the next double crochet or chain 2 space. You will do 1 double crochet all the way across till you get here. I will meet you when you get to this, so go ahead and pause the video and I'll see you in just a second. I know you don't need to hear my troubles, but my yarn barf and I are not having a good day. So I'm sorry if it seemed like I threw you across the row. So far this is what we have. Okay. Now in this chain 2 space right here, we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. I guess I should be playing music of where the yarn is having a victory over over me. So, and then we 2 more double crochets in the same chain 2 space. I wish I could tell jokes. My jokes about yarn would be so funny. Okay, now to come back on this side, we have our double crochet here, and then we have the chain that is actually 4. So when you do your 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space, don't forget this guy right here, because that will take your count off. So we're going to do 1 double crochet in there, and that'll make sure that everything is all right. And that'll be the same for all the rows. So you'll always have It's called the hidden stitch because when you place those additional stitches in there, sometimes it just kind of covers it up. So remember to get that one stitch when you have your chains in a corner. So continue with your double crochets until you get to this chain 2 space, and I'll meet you there. So when you get to the next chain 2 space, we're going to place 2 double crochets in this space and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then turn your work. So this is what the back side will look like, and then we'll go ahead and start our next row. So in our first space that we have right here, that's going to be what the chain is for. So we're going to go to the next one and start our double crochets again. So double crochet in each double crochet across, until you get to the chain 2 space, and I'll meet you there. Now, as I was getting close to the end here, I want to point out that you do have your last stitch because you're on the back side of it. Don't forget to go ahead and place that one stitch in there as well. Okay, and then in our chain 2 space, we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Oh, chain 2. I was getting ahead of myself. Here's 1 and here's 2. Can you see my yarn barf sneaking up on me? Oh my gosh. Okay, so as we continue down this side, okay, so that's part of the chain. This will be part of the stitch, so I was wrong from before, but it doesn't hurt to always look. So we're, in this case, our stitch will go onto the left side because this is the back side. So we'll go over into that stitch, and we're going to go all the way to the end, and I'll meet you there. Alright, and coming up to the end of the row, I am going to change my colors to another color. So I wanted to show you how to change colors if you plan on doing the same way that I am going to. So I've started my double crochet and I stopped where before I pick up those last 2 loops. Okay, and then I guess I need to be a little prepared here. I'm going to pull up my white, and I'm going to do 1 row of white, but we want to start it. So I pulled it through both of the loops. Now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now before I move on, I'm going to take my coral and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to take the white, I'm going to place a small square knot, and that'll keep it from unraveling. Alright, and we can take my friendly yarn barf and push it to the side. Then changing our color, or changing positions here, we're going to skip this first one and go into the second one. And we're going to do double crochets all the way across, just as we've been doing. And in our center, when you get here, you do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and all the way here. And I'll meet you here because we're going to change colors again. So at the end of this row, we still have our chain 3 that we do our last stitch into. So go ahead and bring up a loop and go halfway through that double crochet. And we're going to cut our yarn, and in this case I'm going to pull up my yellow. I'm going to leave a little tail, and we've completed our stitch. So here we're going to chain 3, and then place your hook down and go ahead and let's place a square knot on the end here. So turn our work, and with the yellow I'm going to go all the way across to the other side. Don't forget 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the center. So at the end of this row we have our chain 3 again, and I am going to change my color. Now I wanted to point out to you, yes, I have not been giving you a count because I thought it was self-explanatory, but I thought I'd let you know for this row right here, the yellow, I do have 24 double crochets and 24 this way as well. So I'm going to change to coral. So I'm going to cut my yellow here, and oh dear, here it is. I thought I was going to have to find it. Okay, so with our little tail, go ahead and pull it through, chain 3, and then tie it off. Now I am not going to make another color change until we do our sides, so let's go ahead and square knot this. Oops, it flipped on me. There we go. So I wanted to bring to your attention what we're going to do here. So from this point here down, all the way down, we want to do 12 inches. So continue with these rows. It will be getting bigger as we go along. When you get to 12 inches or your desired length, which may be more, maybe less, we're going to stop, and then we're going to start our decrease row, because with this going this way, we need to fill this in here later on. So keep going. The number here will increase every row because you're adding 2 every row in the center here. Okay, so keep on going and pause our video, or come back after you've completed the 12 inches or the length that you want, and then we'll start our decrease. Alright, now that after we've did the extra rows here, I ended up doing 10 inches from the bottom of our block. The thing was I thought 12 inches would be good, but it went below the belly, the waistline area, and I wanted it to be above. So the amount of rows that I have from here to here is 12. So we're going to do 12 rows, and that'll give us 10 inches. You'll see here that I've started on another row, but I've stopped just before the last 2 double crochets. This row will begin our decrease row. Okay, so go ahead and get this far, and I'm going to show you how to start decreasing your rows. You will do one side at a time, and then we'll have to come back and do the other side. So I'm going to pause the video here, and then we'll go ahead and start the decrease. So to start our decrease, we're going to do 1 double crochet into the chain 2 space, okay, because we've skipped those 2. Now we're going to chain 3, and then turn our work. Okay, we have 2 double crochets here. Now into the third one, we're going to place our first double crochet of this row, and we're going to continue our double crochet to the end. So this is what we have. Okay, so this row we skipped the last 2, and we went into the chain 2 space, we chained 3, we skipped the first 2, and in the third one we started our double crochets. So go all the way down here to the end, and I'll meet you there. So coming up onto the end of our first decrease row, we will not do anything different. This is our side, so we're going to go right into the top of that chain 3, and that'll finish this row. So let's start the second row of our decrease, chain 3, turn our work. Okay, and so we're going to be going all the way down here to the end of the row till you have 2 double crochets left. So come all the way down to that third one from the end of this row, and I'll meet you there. So at the end of our row, we stopped at our third double crochet from the end, and we're going to place 1 double crochet in that chain 3 space right here. Okay, so it's not in the last double crochet, it's in the chain space, and it does pull up against next to it, but it does give the proper length that we need. So let's chain 3, turn our work, we're going to skip the first 2, and in the second or the third one we're going to place our first double crochet coming back. And here's our second. Okay, so here's what our finished edge will look like. So let's keep on going, and I'll keep in touch with you as we do this. Start your decreases, and we're going to come down to where it's, sorry, I'm out of camera range, where it's a small finish at the end, and I'll meet you there. So how did you do on your decrease of the one side? You'll see that as it's gone down, I'm down here to 4 stitches. And at this point, we're going to finish off, and we're going to add on so that we can have a tie so it'll wrap around at the waist level or just above. But this is what it looks like. Let me go up to the larger size on the camera. Alright, I'm glad you bear with me because I do use a GoPro and I really can't use the focus to make it go in and out. I love my little GoPro though, it really does well. So here's what one side looks like with our top area here. We will be adding on some more up here and along through here. But this is what the bottom looks like here. So from the center, here's your side seam. So part of this will be going around to your back area, and then we'll create a tie so that it will go around. And then we'll do the other side. So let's go ahead and get ready, and we'll show how to finish off to make a tie for this. Alright, so let's go ahead and chain 3 again, and then we'll do the 1 double crochet, and we'll do the second one here as well. So we'll have a stabilization. And then we're going to skip the last one and do that double crochet into that chain 3 space. We'll chain 3. Okay, so this is where we will start our actual tie. So we're going to skip the first 2, and then we're going to double crochet in that chain 3 space. And that gives us the gradual pull down. Okay, so let's go ahead and chain. Go ahead and chain 100, and I'll meet you at the end of your chain of 100. After you have completed your chain of 100, we're going to go back to make it so that our tie is a little bit wider. So let's count back. 5 chains. Do not count the chain on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I suggest picking up the 2 parts of the chain. Let's make a single crochet, chain 3. So this is what you should have so far. After you chain 3, you want to skip 2, and we're going to single crochet in the 3rd chain. And like I said, pick up those 2, and that'll hold it a lot better so it won't stretch out. And then single crochet. So chain 3, skip 2, and single crochet. Continue on until you get back to the body of the crop top here, and I'll meet you there. Alright, I am down to where I'm supposed to be at, so I am going to single crochet into that chain 2 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 2 and single crochet into the third one. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go down here to the end, and then we're going to end up having to cut our threads. But let's get to that point first. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2, and in the third, single crochet. 1, 2, 3, skip 2, and then the third, the single crochet. Okay, and we will cut our yarn because when we come up from this side after doing this decrease side, this will already be here, so we can just come up and come down and finish it right here. So this is our look so far. Let's go ahead and start sewing in the loose ends here. So with our tapestry needle, we want to take our colors and go with the same colors. We don't want to weave a yellow into a white. So what I like to do is go to the bottoms of our stitches, and I'll go over about 4 or 5. And stretch it out just a little. Now on the way back, I'll skip over the first one so that it doesn't come out from going back in. Go over a couple. And then snug these loose ones up. And then go over one and back through a couple more. And that'll lock those loose ends in. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Okay, so we want to do this to the rest of the loose ones, and let's go ahead and finish in all of our loose ends, and then I'll show you how to start the decrease on the other side. Since our last row was headed this direction, we're going to be starting this row out just a little bit different than we did over here. Because if we did the same right side up row by starting at this end, it would have the same look. It won't have the right pattern. So what we're going to do, place a slip knot on your hook there. We're going to come here and slip stitch and carry your tail. Well, we'll carry the tail back over the 2 stitches and into the chain space. And then we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. And this will have us going in the right direction. Now if your row just happened to end on the other side, then you don't have to do all this. So our next stitch will be where we skip 2 and into the third. We're going to place our double crochet. See, and it's going to look exactly the same as if we had started it all along. So we're going to carry our little tail here over the stitches that we have. Let me bring down a better camera view. Sorry about that. And that's one less weaving that you have to put in. Okay, so remember that this will be our decrease side. So come all the way down to here, and I'll meet you there. And then I'll show you what next to do. So as before, we have our chain 3 at the end. We want to place our last double crochet in that one, and then chain 3. So continue on with the decreasing rows as we did for the other side here. Okay, you can rewind the video so that you can get all the way down here, chain your 100, skip 5, single crochet, chain 3, skip 2, single crochet, chain 3, and then all the way up the side, and you will come all the way up here. When you get here, you'll chain 80 and come back down, and I'll meet you when you get back here. So you have a lot to do before I see you again, so you can go ahead and stop the video and take your time, watch your count, and I'll see you when you get there. And I know you're looking forward to wearing this because I think it is really cute. So I'll see you in a little bit. Happy crocheting. I hope you enjoyed all your crocheting. It took me about 2.5 hours to do the other side. So here I am, ready to finish the last of it. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that single crochet, and then cut my yarn and pull it through. I will weave in the ends. So we have a nice little finish here. When weaving down these ends, I will go down the strap. So I will go in and out. To keep the colors all together here. So I'll come all the way down. You want to stretch it a little. Go over that first stitch and then weave it back. Maybe a couple of stitches. And snug it up, but stretch it again. And then go back, go over one. That'll help lock all that in place. And we are finished. I do hope that you enjoy your new crop top. It will tie around the neck, and it will tie a little bit above the waist. I have this folded in here so I can show you the whole thing. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed making it and sharing this design with you. Please join me again for more crocheted videos. If you like what I have to offer, YouTube asks that you subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you too. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.